Hey, what's up, guys? Back here, long time no see. First time in a minute. I really had a decent upload. I tried to put a cigar review that I had filmed, went through the time editing, up on the site earlier this week. Didn't really work out for some reason. It only exported or uploaded 25 seconds of the actual video. I didn't realize that until about 3 hours later. But so I ended up taking that down, and I decided to give you guys a completely different review. I wasn't the most excited about that review to begin with. It was kind of more of a prototype anyway. So we'll consider that a first draft, and this right here will be my first review to you guys. And today we are going to be reviewing the Casa Fuente Orange Band. So the Orange Band Casa Fuente is the Cameroon wrapper version. There's also like a gold band version, and I believe there's a few other versions of the Casa Fuente, but the two main ones are the gold band and the orange band here. This is in Churchill. This is supposed to be a 7 1/4 by 48 ring gauge cigar. So again, the wrapper is Cameroon, the binder is Dominican, and the filler is Dominican, but it's one of Fuente's proprietary blends. So as far as anybody is aware, it is supposed to be a tweaked version of the Opus X. Okay, so one thing I can tell you is, based off the smell that I'm getting from the flip, I can believe that. I have a bunch of Opus X in my collection. Not all Fuente smells the same. Opus X tends to have a very distinct, sweet, almost nutty characteristic to it. And this is definitely in that same vein. So I can believe that it's a tweaked Opus X filler. So regardless, we all know Fuente, they're pretty known for that. Like, they have these proprietary blends. They don't really give a lot of information, so it is what it is. But I am looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and cut this, light this, and give it a shot. So here we have my Le Fin Lame Le Petit cutter, my favorite cutter. It's the one I use probably 95% of the time. Good draw. I'll light this using my Calibri. I like to toast my foot. As you can see, it's not a very windy morning. I like to take my time lighting my cigars. Like I mentioned before in a previous video, I'm a process kind of guy. I enjoy the process as much as I enjoy actually smoking the cigars. So when that first light up, it's like a nice chewy, syrupy smoke texture. Get that classic Fuente nuttiness. find that cigar manufacturers are a lot like distilleries, right? No matter how many different products they make, as long as it's coming directly from them and they've made it, there tends to be a DNA, right? Specific flavor profile that, even though the cigars can vary wildly, right? Just like the whiskey can vary wildly, there's just that strand that connects them, right? It's like a good actor. You got two types of actors. You have some actors who lose themselves in a role and become a completely different, unrecognizable person, like say Leonardo DiCaprio with Daniel Day-Lewis, Johnny Depp. And then you have certain actors who, no matter what role they play, it really comes off more as just that guy in that role, right? Like Denzel Washington. Anytime you see Denzel Washington in any movie, he's not losing himself and becoming a completely different character. He's just Denzel as a cop, Denzel as an ancient Roman, Denzel as a military officer, you know, Denzel as a guy who lost his kid and is now upset, you know. So it's always Denzel. So whiskey and cigars are kind of like that, and where you taste something from Heaven Hill, you taste something from Jack Daniels, you taste something from Buffalo Trace, and you, regardless of what it is, you realize, oh yeah, this is a Buffalo Trace product, or yeah, this is a Jack Daniels product. Like this has that banana note, or this has that Buffalo Trace fruity nose, right? Fuente, for me anyway, it's a nuttiness, a very distinct nuttiness, and I'm getting that and a nice sweetness off of this cigar light up. Mm. So now that we're firmly into the first third of the cigar, I just got a blast of just general sweetness, almost like taking like a teaspoon of sugar, and just let it melt in your mouth. That is really good. The nuttiness is still there. It's gotten even smoother. It was pretty smooth on the light up, but it is insanely smooth now. Mm. Yeah, it's like sweet almonds. That is really good. Wow. This is first thing in the morning, so I haven't had anything other than some water, this cigar. And today I'm pairing this with Twinings black tea with some local natural honey in it. Man. That is just classic Fuente, man. That is good. Just giving y'all an update on how this is going. For a 48 ring gauge cigar, that's pretty solid ash. Burn line's fairly sharp, a little wavy, nothing crazy though. So here we are in the second third of this cigar. Still solid ash, razor sharp. Well, I don't say razor sharp, but pretty sharp burn line. Slightly wavy, but very manageable. I did ash in between takes. Got up to about a solid 2-inch ash, and honestly, the only reason why I fell off is because I bumped the cigar. So, classic Fuente construction, burning grape, ashing well. Still a very smooth cigar. That sweetness, that like sugar, saccharine sweetness is there. The nuttiness is more sunflower seeds, right, than anything right now. And I do believe that has a lot to do with the Cameroon wrapper. Sunflower seeds is a flavor I tend to get with any kind of Cameroon wrap cigars. So I do attribute that sweetness and almost that sweet tobacco, almost anise flavor. It's kind of like, it's almost like cherry in the background. And I attribute that to the potentially tweaked Opus X blend, because that is a note and a flavor profile that I tend to get from a lot of the Opus X's. It's almost like a sweet peat, right? And earthy flavor. Really good. Absolutely loving this cigar. Okay, so officially halfway through this cigar, maybe a little more. Getting nice inch and a half chunks out of this thing. Still haven't ashed for the second time yet. Tons of smoke. The sweetness is still there, but it's taking a back seat. I'm mostly getting sunflower seeds, peaty earth, and this nice florality. So that sweet floral note, the sweetness and that floral note that I'm getting out of the cigar right now, very reminiscent of a lot of the Opus X's that I've smoked, which I think does lend some validation and just a little bit of credence to the idea that that filler is a tweaked Opus X blend. Love Cameroon wrappers. I love that nuttiness that you tend to get out of them. It was a very good cigar, man. So here we are in the final third. I characterize this cigar as full body, mild to medium strength. I will say it is a pretty strong cigar. Flavor wise, it is 100% full body. Full flavor, nice chewy smoke texture. At this point, almost all the sweetness is gone. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I do consider that a step back here in the final third. The nuttiness is on full effect. That sunflower seed nuttiness that I was talking about earlier from the Cameroon wrapper, that's the main overtones I'm getting as far as flavor goes in this cigar at this point. The earth is ramped up. The peatiness is ramped up. Still a highly enjoyable cigar. About these cigars in particular, these Casa Fuentes you can typically only get at Casa Fuente in Las Vegas, but every once in a while they'll release some to some of their better vendors. Like I said, I have a retailer near me that is one of the top Fuente accounts in the country, and they tend to get a lot of the rare Fuentes. So when these came out earlier this year, I was able to buy some. They typically have decent prices. I see most of these Casa Fuentes running around 25 to 30 bucks online if you can get them. I paid 22 for this at my local B&M. Still really good. All right, so into the final third. Got a nice 1.5 inch, 1.75 inch chunk. It's burning very well. So that's about it for this cigar. So, final verdict. That is an amazing cigar. I would say for anybody who loves Fuente, for anybody who loves nuttiness, anybody who loves Cameroons, I'd say that's a box-worthy stick. Although getting a box isn't the easiest thing to do. A 5-pack, definitely. And if you could find that a single for a good price, I recommend you at least try it. So towards the end, and then the final third, there were some hits of sweetness, but for the most part, the sweetness had taken a massive backseat. The cigar went from sweet almond at light up and during the first third to more of a sweet sunflower seed during the second third to more of a savory, buttery sunflower seed with some earth and some peat and sweet tobacco. in the final third and towards the end there. Definitely some cedar notes, but nothing overwhelming. Didn't taste woody per se. That said, very much love the Casa Fuentes. The Cameroons are awesome. Eventually, I'm probably going to do one on the gold band, but absolutely love those cigars. I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. One thing I'd like to say is, for me, the smoking experience trumps flavor. I'm not saying flavor is not important. Flavor is extremely important when smoking a cigar. Nobody wants to smoke a nasty cigar. But it doesn't really matter how good the flavor of a cigar is when it doesn't burn correctly, when it explodes on you, when it canoes, if you have to constantly puff on it just to keep it lit, if you have to constantly relight or touch up the relight. I think I touched up the relight on that one time, and I didn't even have to, I just chose to. If the draw is so tight that you can barely get any smoke out of it, like stuff like that tends to ruin the experience of a cigar. That said, that cigar, just off the strength of the construction, the burn, etc., gets an 8. And I would actually rate the flavor as an 8 as well. That cigar is very full flavored. It is not boring in my opinion. It is very consistent though, and there's not a ton of transitions. I think there's just enough transitions to keep it interesting, so that, you know, as you're smoking on it for an hour, hour and a half, it's not the exact same flavor profile. It does shift as you go through, but it still keeps in line with what you get from the light up to the finish, as far as like the nuttiness, the sweetness. Like I said, it does shift from sweet almond to more savory sunflower seed as you get towards the end, but it's not like a super drastic shift, and it kind of happens gradually as you go through the cigar. So none of it's jarring. There are no like definitive transitions as you get through the thirds. But yeah, like I said, I do say that those are box worthy cigars if you can afford a box, at least 5-pack worthy, and definitely pick yourself up a single if you get the opportunity. So thank you guys for watching. I got more reviews coming down the line, and hope you guys keep supporting. Thank you, and I appreciate you.